This is the Uncensored podcast with Robert Peppo.
Do you think people will vote for me?
Are you feeling ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is Robert Peppo with Robert Peppo Uncensored, aka Small Business Uncensored. Today, I'm here with Malcolm Ward. We got something pretty special for you. This is episode number 43, and we're going to call this one Trust the Process. Throughout our little talk today, you are definitely going to find out why we're going to call it that. Hopefully there's a lot of content in here that proves that that is the fucking way you have to do things. All right. So Malcolm, appreciate you.
I appreciate it. No problem.
Is this your first podcast?
Definitely is. Yeah.
All right, bet. We're going to fuck them up today. All right.
It.
So as most of you guys know, I've been preaching about the franchise, what we're doing, how we're building it, the systems, the processes, all this stuff. Now, I knew all this, but I've not tested it with someone who is brand new, who doesn't have the experience. So what that means is I can think it's as good as it is, but until you put it in real life experience, you're not going to know if something actually works, right? So built into the plan was a testing phase right before launch. Okay. And that's where we're at today. Malcolm was fortunate enough to join me on this journey as he exits the Army. Found a dope program to get involved in to come do this right before we're ready to launch. So it puts him in a good position and us in a position to do something pretty dope together. All right. So Malcolm, if you want to kind of say like how this even came about, that you were able to, get a small break in service,
Okay.
come do this, and how that all came together.
Okay. So we were talking about this, when I was in Korea, right?
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about all this in Korea, and I knew I was coming back, and I knew that, hey, when I came back, I came and saw you, and I was like, how am I going to work this into my plans? How am I going to get able to be up to speed when you needed me to, how was I going to train and everything? So I started asking around different things. Was I going to take leave? What was I supposed to do? And some people told me about this program called CSP, right? And it was just an opportunity for me to intern. And I was like, man, I don't want to intern anywhere else. I was like, I need something so I can go back to Illinois, excuse me. I talked to the actual leader of the program, and he was like, you don't have to go to somebody else's. You can make your own. And I was like, exactly what I need. Bingo.
You heard that?
So we started talking. He gave me the information. He was like, all I need you to do is fill out this paperwork, send it to whoever is you're going to do the internship with, and then send it back. We started chopping up. I told you, hey, this is perfect. This is what we need. Let's get it done. And you bossed it out. I can't even lie. Like, they said exactly what they said when they saw the paperwork. They're like, this is the most filled out paperwork we've ever seen. The detail, the timeliness, everything. They were just like, this is right on time. It's perfect. And they're like, it's 3 months ahead of we thought you would get it in. And I was like, that's the people I'm working with.
And see, now you kind of start to see how I function, right? You see that in the store in real time.
Exactly.
If there's something to be done, generally, okay, let's just fucking do it right now then. Things come up so much that why not just get it done? That's my principle for most things, right? So it's cool to hear that. And it was really cool to see that come together.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know I've been in the Army for 6 years, and I didn't know about these programs. Mm-hmm. A lot of soldiers, young soldiers especially, don't know what's available to them. They don't know what they have access to, and then it becomes limiting.
They don't ask questions either. You have to, if you want to know something, you want to see what you can get out of the military or out of life in general, you got to ask questions. You got to seek it. The information is out there.
What a lot of people like to say is the military is going to get everything out of you. Get that shit out of them too,
exactly.
right?
Get
Make
it right
it a win-win.
Yeah.
Make it beneficial and use everything that's there. And there is a lot there. Some of it's hard. Some of it's a long fucking process. Some of the shit don't work right. We all know that. But this one did. And it was perfect timing, right? So timing is a lot of this stuff. Luck is this much of it, okay? But timing is a lot of it, right? It was nearly perfect timing. Mm-hmm. And you knew what we were doing because we talk often. I knew what your ambition was because we talk often. And we found a win-win, all right? So people out there like, within your circles with what you're doing, just get creative on what you can do.
Exactly.
We thought we'd have to wait till you got out
Yeah.
in the summertime to do something. But you were aware enough to say, damn, we're going to be rocking and rolling by then. You know, if I can pull something in and be an asset to the team and learn faster, I can jump in probably right when we're about to launch a franchise, right? So it's perfect timing. So it really did come together pretty cool. And what was cool is for me to see that from my end, submitting to the Army, getting in the database, and who knows if we roll this out, you know, again.
Because now that they know about it, who knows who sees it? Who knows who comes in the future and does the same process and we say, hey, we have a space for you. Or in the future we have spaces.
Yep.
Just stay patient, you know?
Yeah, and my goal is to, people look at internships and be like, oh, maybe I'll be an engineer. Maybe I'll be in office. Maybe I'll be in anything. But most people don't think of internships within a restaurant.
Exactly.
But why not? It's a business. It can be just as lucrative, just as fulfilling, just as opportunistic as any other business. It's what you make of it. And so why not? I've always had that thing. Why not? Why do people look at the restaurant industry differently? Why is it entry-level positions? Why is it, oh, it's just a stepping stone? Fuck that. You can absolutely make it occur, especially with our program today, right? I can understand that single-level stores, single-unit stores, if there's not growth happening, okay, I can see how people see that. I still don't think it's true, but I could see how they would interpret it that way. And we decided the opposite, and that was dope. So, you know, at the beginning of this, neither one of us knew what was going to happen.
Absolutely not. Did not know what was down the path, but was definitely willing to go on it.
Right. Okay, so that's a great point. You don't know. So there's a quote. It's like, you don't know where the path may lead, but you take it anyway. Right? You go on a journey. Right? This is a fucking journey for sure. It's a journey. It's a fucking vacation. It's a fucking nightmare. It's all that. Right? But that's what high level shit is. But we didn't know, and we were willing to jump in and see what the fuck happened. First of all, I didn't know, and I know a lot about our business, right? I could only guess how that would affect other people, right? I could only guess how robust it was based on me knowing everything and thinking one way, but not truly testing it out. And so we did that. We did that from week 1, 2, 3, and now we just finished week 4. All right, so the franchise program is basically broken down into sections. How I built it was we basically go all in on each section: front of the house, then back of the house, then table, and then office, which is like back end business ownership, GM type of stuff to do to manage cash flow and all that. And when you do that and you focus on those, you can get someone up to speed pretty quickly. It's what I thought, and it's about what happened. So taking that into consideration, today we're going to unpack a little bit of that from the beginning, right? So coming in, we're all like gung-ho, ready to fucking get it, right? And then if you would just tell me, you know, first what you thought would happen before we even started, if you can.
Excuse me. Before we started, I was excited. You already knew this. I was like pumped. How many people get to work with not only their mentor, their friend, that somebody they actually gone through and grew up with, you know, like you see me from 20 to now, you know, that time span. I was super excited, but I didn't know what to expect. I've never been in Peppo's backside. I've been there to order and, you know, chop it up with you, but I've never actually seen the work, you know? So going in, I was like, I know my work ethic, and that's all I can bring to the table because I don't know anything else. I'm going in blind. So the best thing I can offer is going in ready to work and do what I do, you know? And it was hard at first. It was definitely hard. There was a transition that it's not like Army. You're face to face with people, especially at the front of the house. Starting off, I was like, what is going on? I'm learning, but people are coming up, and you got to interact with them because you can't just be like, hold on, I'm still learning, you know? And it's like they expect their service a certain way. So that first week was tough, but it was enough cushion there of y'all helping me and teaching me and guiding me that eventually by the end of the week, you already know, it was smooth. It was smoother than, I wasn't like the best or proficient at it, but I was enough that I could survive up there.
For sure.
And I got to start actually interacting with the customers. I got to actually have those nice conversations, especially I think the first week we were finishing up with Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
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 And it was a lot, you know, being in the front, Super Bowl's happening. People were excited. A lot of people coming in, caterings. It was really exciting. And I was glad that was the first part, because I got to meet the customers. I got to see who we provide a great service to.
And you got to get thrown in on Super Bowl Sunday, which is typically a heavier, busier day for us, for catering and regular stuff just going on, right? So it gives you like an upfront, yo, this kind of going to be what it is, right? I like that up front, though, because it lets you know, is this for you or is it not? Are you willing to go through this shit or not? Because that will happen. Then you know what happens on repeat.
Exactly.
All right, on the days it gets busy as fuck. You said, it was hard up front. Don't forget, it's also hard on my aspect, because not only do I have to do what I have to do, I have to make sure you are getting trained properly, sticking to the program to see if it works. Then when we found changes that needed to be made, I needed to make those right now, so then automatically the next one to come through is better. Okay. I had to manage all that at the same time. Then the natural things you have to manage, right? And so don't be fearful of that being hard up front, because for both of us, it eased out once it got going. We found the flow, right? Going into week 2 to back prep, right? Again, very different from the front. So now you're in a whole new position, doing all recipes, all food prep, all learning the back end in dishes. So my perspective, I started everybody in this program will go through every position, do the lowest task for cleaning toilets like we did together, right? To washing dishes, to managing all the guts, the process, everything, right? You have to do that. If I skip one of those or say, oh, you my boy, you know how to wash dishes, you haven't experienced what every other employee will experience. You haven't been in the position and felt the weight of all that shit backing up on you in a rush, and you have to bust it down, right? If you don't feel that, how could you have your staff do that?
How can you lead?
And how will other people think, oh, that motherfucker didn't do it, but I have to fucking do it? That up front creates animosity and a separation. I will not have that. There's no way to build a company like that. And everybody's opportunity is what they make it. If you want to be there forever, fine. If you want to stay there, fine, whatever. But we have to go through it. Every single person coming through this program will go through this the same way. We'll improve it as we go, but you will touch every single position multiple times until you know exactly what it feels like when it's in real time with everybody else. Okay. So I don't know how much to talk about with back prep, because it's really just the food prep, learning knife skills, learning not to cut yourself, right? So you're interested in culinary, right? This is like the basic entry level into culinary, because in the restaurant industry, all these things are basically the same, with sanitation rules, temperature danger zones, all that, cross contact, cross contamination. Those don't change in the highest level Michelin restaurant, in our sub shop. Okay. Those are generally the same. So you get thrown into this again to see, do you really like this? Are you going to push it forward? And so I'll be eager to see what you do with that, because it's part of your plan. Yeah.
And having that back prep time was that spark, the front was, all right, cool. This is real training. Like, it was an eye opener, but being in the back and actually making food and learning how to do certain processes. And even when you did slow me down and we were doing knife skills, it was that spark of, okay, I can do this. I can really chase my dreams of wanting to be a chef, wanting to go to culinary, and I can fuse this with Peppo's and everything that I'm doing. So not only do I get to chase one dream, I get to chase two. I get to go through culinary and I get to go through business. So it's all intertwining, it's all working together. So why not?
Yep.
So,
yeah. And what's cool is, because there's such a difference between front of the house and, like, you have to be good on the POS to not make a mess up, for them to make a messed up sandwich.
Right.
That would, either fuck up the customer experience or cost us money, because now we got to remake something, whatever. Just as important as making the guts recipe correct. Just as important as filling the vinegar and oils properly with the recipe, right? Because we do all this stuff ourselves, right? We make all of it fresh in-house, and it has to be correct. And through this process, we identified how to improve our vinegar and oil process, right? So we've been doing this for a long fucking time, right? But as soon as we slowed down that training and really got you up and identified what, kind of like how Leandro would say it, Sarah would say, and we're like, yo, there's kind of a gap here,
Yep.
right? There's an improvement to be made.
Mm-hmm.
But doing this, we identified that quickly. Not only did it get us better, it got the recipe better, and the product now will be better. This is a fucking win-win-win going through this, right? And probably if we didn't slow down to do this with you, we probably would have waited till the next franchisee came in and found it then. That's why I like this. We can identify problems faster and then fix them instantly, didn't we? I went right back. We said today, that was the Saturday, Leandra, Alex, whoever's the best at doing this,
Yeah.
come here right now. Whatever you guys decide, write it on this paper, and I'm going to include it and rewrite the recipe book. The recipe didn't change. The process and the way in which we did it improved.
Exactly. Yeah.
So think about that when you're doing something. The core thing itself might not be the change. You might think it is. We thought maybe it's the seasoning, maybe it's this, maybe it's the pour, maybe, right? You have to go through that progression. We approached it as a scientific thing. What are the constants? What are the variables? Do this. If that didn't work, track it. Do that. If that doesn't work, check. And we, like a 1 or 2 evolutions, we got it.
Exactly.
Identify, fix, move on. Now it's better. All right. And we do that fucking quickly. That's my stance of what you can do in 10 years, do in 6 months, right? That's sort of what we're doing, right? This was a 10-year plan that now became an 8-year plan that now became, as we sat in the office, me, you, Alex, and Leandra discussed, if we can do this right, it goes as fast as we can do it, as right as we want to get it, but also as fast as we want to do it. It's either unlimited or we limit ourselves. It's just based on how the fuck we do it and how good we get. Hence why the heavy training, hence why getting you up to speed faster, hence why having a team, right? Hence why having Gabe on the fucking table holding it down, right? When those things are in place, it's really up to us how much we can do. And I think we can do a lot. And we're already seeing that our training is effective.
Especially all the ideas we have to bounce off each other and to say, hey, maybe we can change this, or maybe this is good for now and we'll see in the future. Like we said, maybe we'll rewrite how the recipes really look, but they're not changing. It's just rewritten different, you know?
A better flow.
Exactly. Because we want to make sure that when number 1 comes through, it's smooth, it's right, and we know, hey, we did it right, and you will be proficient. So exactly.
Yeah. So then we moved on to the table. All right. So week 3, on the sandwich table, actually on the line, actually producing sandwiches, and learning. How did that week go?
By week 3, I think it was definitely different. Table was so fast because of now you see doing the first week of POS and being in the front, sending the tickets back. Now you're receiving the tickets. So,
which is generally a lot more.
Yeah, it's a lot more. You're like, man, I didn't realize I was sending all these back here. How are y'all making these sandwiches so fast? And now being the person receiving it, you're like, okay, I already know what these acronyms and different things mean, these abbreviations. But now I have to make it still. You know, I can't slow down and be like, wait, is this? You have to understand the process. You have to listen to your training, and you have to understand that there's still somebody on the other end waiting for that sandwich. So you can't slow down too much, and you can't make mistakes. So you have to trust that week 1, week 2, and week 3 all are going to flow together, and now they're connected, and now you can make sandwiches.
Yep. And so you said you got to make it fast, but not make mistakes. So my saying, I say like literally all the fucking
Every
time,
single day,
is fast is good, right is better. Okay. That's like true as fuck, because we have to be fast, but I'd rather it be right.
Right.
Back in the day, perhaps my opinion was fast is right and right is fast. Get it fucking done.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've refined that now because I want to produce a higher level product in a better way, with a better look, and with more controls. Right. And so I preach that literally. So it's fucking stuck in your head. You know, so I have my like buzzwords that I say all the time in the store. You know what the fuck I mean when I say it. Same thing in the Army, bro. Like,
yeah, you don't have to fly through it to get it right. And sometimes going at your pace and knowing that you did it the right way is the right way.
And efficiencies will come.
Exactly.
Efficiencies come with experience, right? There's no way in hell I'm going to expect you to be as fast as Gabe until you're a year in or 2 years in, right? Whatever, I'll try to speed you up, right? But we can identify some things, but we cannot rush some things, right? So I think it worked out pretty good. I think the first time, what what rush did we get on like Thursday or something? Was like when I told you don't look up or some shit.
Oh yeah.
So we're sitting there on the table. You know, I'm trying to control the training. So like I'll pull them to table side 2 or something. We'll knock some stuff, or 1 or 2 tickets will come back. We'll kind of knock it out. Well, for some reason, maybe Gabe was on break, or maybe not. There was a Thursday or something, and the lobby packed. And I know what this is. I see this all the time, no problem. But the newer-ish people look up and get fucking flusterfucked.
Yeah, that was me.
And they look up, but you really didn't though, because then I scaled it back. I said, "Don't look up," which of course I knew he was going to. That's the point of me telling him that. C's like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Dude, ticket's right in front of you. You know how to do a ticket. Do that one. Don't worry about the 5 or 10 after it. You do your one correctly. The next one will be there waiting for you, and you do one, and you finish it, and you go." When you can control that, controlling your emotions, controlling your energy, controlling all that, you are in control of the chaos, right? Because we know there's chaos.
And I was just about to say that.
We know how heavy the flow can get. We know how much there's to do at one time. So I'm throwing you into it, right? And I'm not special treatment with you. If I'm like, "Hey, did you fill the table up?" Yeah, I'm getting to it. Did we sweep? Yeah. Did we do the list? Yeah. Like back to back to back to back, right? During those heavy production times. But we broke it down.
Mm-hmm.
We kept it simple, one at a time. And I didn't leave your side in between there. Like if there was ever a rush, it was like me or Gabe, besides when we had a dip for Ace.
Right.
But those are, you know, abnormal things that generally fucking hopefully won't happen again. But I think we controlled it well. And now by the end of the week, yesterday, pretty steady fucking day.
Again, yeah.
And how was the flow?
It was a lot better, and I think it went really well. We knocked out 2 super. What was it?
The 4-footer. Yeah.
We knocked out 4.
When they arrived early. They came right
early.
now, basically during lunchtime. It was like, "Yo, I'm here for my catering." Well, now we have to take a whole production side, right? Now we have to bust it down. We can't help them, so we can't take another ticket, and we just have to fucking do it. We did it good, did it efficiently. They watched us, and it went out and was perfect. Then we get back to the next thing to catch up.
Right.
So honestly, I think it worked pretty good. By all accounts, actually that super sub was this week, but either way, table time.
Yeah, you're right.
Every day blends together.
Yeah.
That like during this training, right now we're a little bit more heavy because he's staying with us. And we talk constantly about it, which I think is quite beneficial up front. We won't have that luxury with every other franchisee, but we're spending a lot of time there and everything blends together.
Right.
So
I don't even know the days other than Sunday. So
yeah, which is fine, which means we've dove into the training, which means we focused the fucking shit out of what we're supposed to do. And then we fucking did it. Exactly what's supposed to happen. The upfront sacrifice for the end result. And so far we fucking got it. All right. So yeah, table time. We did all that. You understand our standards and shit there and got it pretty good. So, week 4, which we just finished, was all back office, managerial, ownership, cash flow, taxes, vendor management, keeping things organized in the filing cabinet.
Yep.
Right. So a lot of times in restaurants, and people say this to us all the time when they come have meetings in our office, "This is like the most organized office in a restaurant I've ever seen." Yes, motherfucker, because I want a high level fucking result. Like quite literally almost everybody. I'm not trying to blow smoke. It's not like we got the best shit in the world.
It is though.
But I really want my good personal space, and I want to be ahead of and in control of the bills and the shit that is off the floor.
Right.
That we must control. Now you know this shit's real, right? So week 4 was office stuff. How'd you feel about that?
Week 4 was realism. It brought everything full circle. Once you've gone front of the house, back of the house, table to week 4, it's like, now I see. Now the curtain's lifted. Now I see how much you really, really do, you know, and
the levels at which it happens
and the
at.
level that you have to succeed at. You know, you can't.
Because as we identified, if you make something a wrong change, it's really wrong because of how much we do in compounding, right? If it's really right, we can really fucking crush it.
Exactly.
So now you see it's not just a right or wrong decision. There carries a big consequence to those decisions. Weekly, like the weekly taxes and stuff.
Right.
Monthly, monthly taxes and stuff, and yearly, right? If those three are out of whack, it can get real fucked up, as we saw, because we literally opened up our profit and loss statements. We literally opened up our end of the year tax statements and looked at line items. We literally went in everything. We looked at the day sales and how to look at labor, right? If that's off, right, we're fucking literally just losing money, right?
Exactly.
And there's nothing we can do about that if we don't control it. You know, so again, I've never really dove deep in the back end with anybody besides you now. Like, I'll show Leandra a few things just so she's tracking what we track. Me and Alex typically do it all, right? So this is our first time really breaking it down to somebody who's going to be their own owner, who's going to be a GM, who's tied it into the success or failure of the store. And I did know it was going to be an eye-opening experience for you because it was heavy stuff, important heavy stuff. Cash flow management is extremely important when you're dealing with $50, $60, $70, $80,000, right? All the time, every month, right?
And you remember how, my bad, you remember how when I first came in, I was like, oh, let's do this. I want to do this when I get to Texas, you know? When I open my stores, I want to do this. I want to do this. Week 4, I wasn't saying that no more. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. There's no way I'll put this into profit and still be profitable. There's no way that this is going to feed into the way I thought it was, you know? And I love that about week 4. I loved how I really saw the numbers and I was like, oh. And even though Texas climate is better and it does help with profit and how many people come in, it's still, how do you manage this? Is it really going to be successful? Is it really going to, the customer going to like it? Is it really going to help your numbers? So that was my best part.
Through all that, how I approach everything is looking at it full picture, right? So let's take, for instance, bringing in a new item. We went from literally, okay, what walk-in space is that product going to take? So now that's going to push something. Because you know the volume we do, we run out of space quick. When we get a fucking U.S. food order in and we have to leave a catering shelf open, you know, for all those things that we have going on, now you push an item, right? Now we're adding an item. Okay, fine. Now on the line, on the table, now that's thrown into production. So we got 10 cold sandwiches and 1 hot one. Now you got to go, right? And do it. Okay. Then is it tasty and wonderful to the customer? Now we got to create the recipe, right? Now you have to train the recipe, right? Now we have to make sure it's profitable.
Exactly.
Okay. Now we got to bring it in. Now, you know, all those things, we have to approach that, especially in a long-standing business. The foundation is there, and anything we add to it better fit right? And I want everybody to be excited and bring new ideas and fresh ideas, but I will give you the truth. And it's not me trying to downplay it, but I want you to know all of it that goes into making high-level business decisions that now not only affect you and what you like, affects the store, the customer, the employees, and the next person coming through, right? So it's a full picture thing, and I'm glad that we got to walk that. I'm glad you brought it to the table, and I don't want that to be taken away from you just because it doesn't work right now, right? Yeah, then we got to go meet vendors. We got to go to Raymar, right? We got to go look at different products, talk about how we can upgrade some things, see new equipment, talk about building out a store and how it would be on the new line, with different construction build outs, a back kitchen that's not seen, but just the line is seen,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
How we get the worktop cooler that we could put stuff on and use, or we have the open lid one, right? How would that look on the line, right? What is it? So we got to do all that at Raymar, which is cool. We got some products to sample, which is cool. That is the fun back end stuff, right? So the back end stuff takes work, right? We did pricing too. So controlling all that takes some time. Learning it and getting your flow takes some time, but my approach is set it. This is what we're going to do. Make it your habit and you're done. Then we can go test new products. Then we can go get new trays. How's the sandwich sitting here? Does it stay open? Does it stay closed? That's the fun stuff. That's the fun stuff. So I think we did that good this week, and we were able to flex and jump in. So week 4 for us was back end stuff, but as you know, you get pulled away. If your staff is getting fucked and you're there and you don't help them, you're an asshole. Don't ever be beyond jumping in to make your store literally what pays you and creates your life and the shit you like. And they need some help, jump in and do it. And that was what our position is a flex, as we call it. You can jump in, you identify what needs to be done, and you jump in. So that was his role. You know, I'd go up there and say, hey, make your rounds, check front, back, table, make sure they're good, see what they need, jump in and help. Don't do it and stay. Jump in and help. That's an ownership role. We can play number one position if we needed to right then. But I'm going to pass it back off to Gabe or Sierra or Leandra or whatever and dip because we still have our stuff to do, right? That's how I run the floor when I'm there. Like if we weren't training, that's exactly what I do. And I think it works pretty well. And so we went over scheduling and shit. We went over fucking all that. How to control it all, right? How to be flexible, right? We're flexible on the schedule so that hopefully people are flexible with us.
Exactly.
And we have our whole things about hiring, firing, training, right? What we're going to do, the new approaches, how to handle shitty situations, right? But I think, and I hope you agree, and please don't just blow smoke. If you bring just a level of respect and the way you treat people, you can always feel that everything's fair.
That's 100% true. You know how I am. You know how we've talked about this. You need a certain etiquette to succeed in this. You need to bring you're not going to agree with everybody. That's just honest. You're not going to agree with everybody. You're not going to agree with how they do everything. But as long as they're in the standard and you're doing it the way that the company says, all right, I don't have to agree wholeheartedly, but I can at least be respectful and have etiquette to know that at 6 o'clock you go your way, I go my way. We got our day done. We did it well. All right, cool.
Yep, exactly. And that's my approach, man. Keep it simple, dude.
Exactly. Yep.
You're dealing with a bunch of people who got different things going on, but where we are, there is one big goal that is good for everybody if it works, and that is my position on building the team and really bringing people along. Even if you got to drag them or push them, right? We're gonna show you the way because now it's real. Now it was real before, but I think, like you said yesterday, now they really kind of see it. Everybody kind of see it. Even when customers are like, oh, you're training new? I'm like, yeah, because he's jumping on the corporate team, right? We're about to do something here, you know? So it's pretty cool to see that all the way around. And so we got out of week 4. And this week or two coming up, if you were an actual franchisee, we'd be focusing on getting your staff, getting your store done. All the final purchases are done. And you run the store, right? You would jump in and run the crew, but we kind of did that a few times, right?
We did.
You ran breaks, you made sure everybody was on what they need to be doing, and it's an interesting position for you to be semi in their peer group, but also training, but also my friend. And that's quite a dichotomy of different things happening at one time to manage. Yeah. But oh well, we have to do it if we want the result. And I think everybody's starting to see it come together now. I think everybody this week said this was the fastest someone's ever been trained up. Excellent. That means our program fucking worked. And we improved it. So it's going to work just as good or more efficiently even next time. And so I was really happy. And every week we sat down, actually, after main point, AARs. Every week when we were done, and then sometimes in the first time of the day, every day.
Beginning of the morning sometimes.
Yeah. We would say, hey, what are we supposed to do today? What went good? What went bad? And what can we improve? We made it a point to do that. We did it kind of every day, just discussing the day. But really at the end of the week, when we'd sit and talk about it, I would write all my notes down. So then we just get feedback. We know we were in it, but okay, let's unpack it when we're not on the floor doing this. And luckily we can be very straight up with each other. Hey, let's identify what was wrong. What was said that wasn't good. What can we improve? How we were doing how we were doing things. And one of them, the main one we identified was when someone's training, allow them to train. Yeah. Do not interrupt. Do not add in. But it's new up front, right? So that happened more like the first week. I'm like, yo, I am fucking right here.
It's a new face. They see a new face and they're like, oh, yeah, he's learning. I can help.
For sure. And,
so.
But, at that time I didn't, okay, you got something. Let's just see what happens.
Right.
And then we built it correctly and we identified it. We talked to like the team, Leandra and them. Hey, when we're going to be training, when you're training, do your thing. Unless you say something egregiously fucked up,
right.
You're good to go. Not everybody's going to be me and say things the way I am. As long as we are pretty fucking spot on that training, we're good. So those things are important too. So it really did come together towards the end. And let's just not finish with this, but pull that all together with how do you feel now going forward with the plans and going to culinary and what we're going to do?
I feel that everything is working out perfectly. The training is going to end off perfect. I know that I'm proficient enough to be an asset to the team now. It's a smooth process. We're going to probably tweak a couple more things as these next, 2 weeks, we finish off, right? We'll probably fix a little things, but now I'm good enough that, hey, maybe you can show us what you've learned. Show us with somebody who is our new, and let's see what happens.
Yep. So we built that into this one. We're taking Nate and Oscar, and we're just gonna put him with him, right? So now the trainer, or now the trainee gets to train. Let's see what you've learned, right? So we'll pick the simple stuff, just a spot test, but it's a way to test it out and say, hey, you will have staff, you will have crew. Let's work with them. Put you as me to you to them, and get it out. So it's another way to add to and test the system. So I'm excited for that.
And I think it's gonna be successful. Like, I've already trained people before, not in this field, but I've had soldiers before. I know how to break it down simple, that you understand what I'm saying. You understand the task I need done, and I'll be there the whole way as we do it. So I'm just going to bring that aspect to this. Let's do it. Let's do it the right way. If we have to use a recipe book, let's use a recipe book. If we have to do it slower because it might have been messed up or whatever, let's do it the right way.
And once we can hold that standard across the board for everybody, we're going to get a better result overall. And I think the crews will run better. They'll have better time with each other. They're more reliant on each other. People are more autonomous, so they're doing things themselves. There's no micromanaging. So we can really flourish in our own tasks and responsibilities. And now we know and have identified the better we train everybody, the better everybody's result is. The more comfortable they are making the right decisions. That's freedom, bro. That's freeing. Then you start to create your own destiny. Then you can grow your company. Then you can make some money. Then you can fucking travel. Then the fucking everything gets stacked up. Then you can go out and get more sales. Then you can become $1 million store. All that fucking happens. And we did it in a pretty quick fucking amount of time.
And I think the training right now is cultivating that Peppo's way so that it is in every store. And when I say Peppo's way, I mean of doing it the right way. Making sure that, hey, I've been here long. I don't have to use a recipe. Yes, you do. I don't care. You may have been here long. There's a new person who won't. And they're looking up to you. You may not think of it, but a new person's going to look and see what everybody's doing. Oh, you're not using a recipe book? Why do I have to?
Absolutely.
Oh, you're not using the timer? Why do I have to?
Absolutely.
So let's do it the right way. And that is the Peppo's way. So there you go.
Exactly. Yep. I love it. Yeah. Good shit. Well, I'm super happy with how everything went. I would like to do one more of these before you leave.
Absolutely.
That we say what's actually about to happen after you come back, right? Because there's still a transition period, and there's still a break that we have to put in and then move forward. So either way, I'm glad we got to do this, unpack it, really put context to the things that I've been saying on the podcast. But again, I appreciate all you guys rocking with us. I hope you liked this one. I hope it brought a little bit of realism into the things that I've spoke about. I hope you follow this journey too. And he's working on some stuff on the back end too, to maybe put out someday that could be pretty fucking cool. And we're really just going to crush it, man. We're out here to just do our fucking best, have a good ass business, make people as successful as fucking possible so we all win at the highest level and live the good life, bro. That's all I preach. That's my message is. If you put in the work, you will get it. The experience will make you really good at it, but if you put in the work, every opportunity can be yours in any industry and anything you do. It's very fucking simple. It's hard to do, but it's actually pretty simple. So with that, Malcolm, thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate you. We got a little bit more to do.
Exactly.
Stay tuned. All the links are in the description. Robert Peppo, Uncensored, number 43, out. This is the Uncensored podcast with Robert Peppo.
Do you think people will vote for me?